Today our topic is clever with carbohydrates. And I chose this topic today because carbohydrates is, of course, a very funny topic. Why is it funny? Well, it tends to polarize people. You know, one day in the media, you'll hear lots of promotion of low carb, no carb, zero carb, keto as the best thing for your health or well-being. Then another day you'll hear how carbohydrates are essential. You need to eat carbs for your brain function, for example, or it's impossible to lose weight without cutting your carbohydrates. So who is right? So it's so important to take a balanced view. And I can tell you as a GP with a special interest in medically supervised weight loss that there isn't one diet that is more superior when it comes to weight loss, which means that you might as well have a good quality diet that is based on fueling your body with good quality nutrition. There are, however, some patients who do benefit from adjusting their approach to their carbohydrate content. And what I have found is that when I have patients who have some form of insulin resistance, so say for example, they are pre-diabetic or they have insulin resistance or they have polycystic ovarian syndrome or even patients who are going through perimenopause or menopause. When I have these patients, they tend to somewhat benefit when we reduce or when we slightly control their carbohydrate content in terms of weight loss, in terms of weight control, and in terms of weight maintenance without necessarily having to be zero carb or low carb or keto. It's just carbohydrate reduction. And so what I will normally do is people ask me, you know, with the Enlighten Me members, do you give people a shopping list? Do you put people on a food plan and then they have to like go to the grocery store, buy all of those foods, cook all of those foods, eat things that are different to the rest of their family? And I say, gosh, that would actually be very difficult, wouldn't it? Because it's quite robotic. You're eating all of these foods that you wouldn't normally be eating. How is that going to be sustainable? And what kind of example is that showing where one person's eating something different from the rest of the family? It's not actually that fun and it's not actually that sustainable. So what I actually do with the Enlighten Me members is I have a consultation with them where I tend to get them to fill in an intake form and find out what it is that a day on a plate looks like for them. So I find out what it is that they're having for breakfast, morning tea, lunch, afternoon tea, dinner, snacks, water, alcohol, their physical activity, and then help them to understand what their intake is like, how it can be edited, and suggest a couple of swaps that they can have. Because if you've been having the same foods for the last 10 years, those are usually your favorite foods, and most people just recycle recipes, and it's probably going to be the same foods that you're going to eat for the next 10 years. So you might as well learn how to adjust the ratios of your foods and how to swap out a couple of foods to just get it right now, because you're actually just going to be eating those same foods in the next 10 years time. So if you can learn how to adjust things properly, then you're going to be able to achieve your weight loss and weight maintenance in a very sustainable fashion. These are really important lifelong skills. It's like learning how to drive a car. When you first learn how to drive a car, it is energy driven. You're focusing really hard. You're looking at the rearview mirror. You've got your hands at 10 at 2 o'clock. You do eventually pick up these tips and tricks, and it does end up becoming quite automated. So I feel like that's the way that I would normally do it. And before I get the patients, like I said, to come into that consultation, I would get them to fill in that food diary with me so that I can have a think about their intake behind the scenes. And I also get them to go into a tutorial to learn about carbohydrates as well. And that tutorial that they go into is called Clever with Carbohydrates. And in the Clever with Carbohydrates tutorial, then I go over a few key principles, which helps you to understand my approach to carbohydrates to help you to lose weight and also achieve weight maintenance. It's kind of like a sustainable approach to carbohydrates where I walk you through a couple of key principles so that you don't have to always, be thinking so hard about your carbohydrates, and you can kind of have like a healthy relationship with your food. See you soon. Bye.